King Henry VIII created a job called the Groom of the Stool. It meant monitoring the king's bowel movements and wiping the king's royal bottom. So why was this position created? Did he create this because he was having a problem wiping his stool? Did he have things he thought that needed to be monitored in his stool? If you accept the position, are you appointed to this position? Or do you apply for this position? What's the benefit package? What are the hours? Is it on call? I have a lot of questions about monitoring the stool of the king. And I guess if you got this position or you were appointed to this position, at least if you're wiping someone's bottom, at least it's the king's, right? So there's always a silver lining. I think this is crazy that this was a position. Why would the king... Okay, hold on. So if the king travels, does this guy come with him? Is this like a 24/7 situation? I mean, I think if that was the case, I would rather not be alive. I think that would be a fate worse than death. Okay, where's Alex? Oh, he's on a trip, vacationing with the king. King's probably going to be eating a lot of, ethnic food, probably going to be having a lot of cocktails, probably going to have a lot of bowel movements. So Alex definitely needs to be there. Doesn't sound fun at all. A middle school science project tested ice from 5 fast food places and found that about 70% had more bacteria than the toilet water at those same restaurants. My first thought is, because I've worked in restaurants my entire life, are these employees just going to the bathroom in the ice machines? I mean, how is this possible? I guess because the toilets are cleaned more regularly with like bleach and like disinfectant and stuff, I guess, or they have the Tidy Bowl blue thing, little man in the boat. That is the only reason that would make sense. I know that ice machines tend to get neglected in restaurants. So do ice cream machines. There's a lot of videos on the internet of ice cream machines being just filled with bacteria. So I guess it makes sense, but I guess it does make sense because I guess if the people aren't washing their hands and they're using the ice scoop and they're going directly into the ice and particles are being dropped in the ice machine, I guess this would be a call to action for restaurants to start sanitizing and cleaning the ice machine more, or where they have the ice bin, like, the well behind the bar where all the ice is. That needs to be cleaned out every night too. There's no excuse for this. It's disgusting. Slashomaniacs, what do you guys think about the toilet being cleaner than the ice machine or the place where the ice is stored in restaurants? Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. That's disgusting. I can't really come up with a good reason why this has to be like this. You know what? Let's let's go to today's show sponsor and see what this amazing company is all about.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Drink your milk, kids.
I don't want milk. Milk's for babies.
Yeah, babies.
Oh yeah? Well, I happen to know that milk helps build strong bones. So drink up.
Well, Mr. Miller told me he never drinks milk. Look at him.
Yeah.
Hi, kids.
Oh, that's not good.
Got milk?
Well, there you have it, Slashomaniacs. You need to drink your milk. When your mom said to finish your milk before you could be dismissed from the table, she wasn't joking around. Your arms might rip off. I've never broken a bone in my entire life, and I kind of attribute that to all the milk I drank as a kid. I would slam 2 to 3 glasses of milk per meal. I remember being a little kid and my mom taking us to the post office, and people would throw away their grocery store circulars. They'd put them in the garbage can. My mom would go to where all the P.O. boxes were, at night when there's no one in there, and me and her, or her and I, would dig through the garbage can and find all the buy one, get one free gallon of milk coupons and the circulars that people threw away. Milk was like a commodity in my house. My brother, myself, my cousin, my dad, my grandpa, everyone drank milk, and we needed those coupons big time. And I remember my mom even got to a point with me with that where she would pay me $0.25 per circular I found. So it was kind of a fun thing to do with her. It was kind of weird, but it was fun. It was like when my dad used to take me rock hunting, and I hated going, but he'd buy me lunch, and every agate I found or like piece of jasper, he'd give me $1. So it like incentivized me to go with him and, look for rocks. Yeah, so drink your milk. You don't want your arms to be ripped off. All right, Slash-O-Maniacs, Slash-Keteers. It's that time of the show. We're going to do Who Would Win. And today is a Halloween-inspired Who Would Win. And we're going to have Michael Myers, the king of Halloween, the Shape himself, versus Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, the master of the Dragon Dagger and the Dragon Zord. All right, so my first thoughts are Michael Myers got defeated by Laurie Strode in Halloween Ends. He's also been handled by numerous, teen boys and girls throughout the franchise. Little girls have put up a pretty good fight against him. He's a normal human being. He's a psychopath. I think this is a pretty clear-cut case. I think Tommy Oliver is a master of like 12 to 13 different types of karate. He also controls the Dragon Zord. Excuse me. He also handled every other Power Ranger by himself in the Green with Evil miniseries. He's easily the most powerful Mighty Morphin Power Ranger there is. I think that Tommy Oliver could handle Michael Myers without the Dragon Zord or without the Dragon Dagger. I think he could defend himself well without those weapons. I think if Tommy Oliver has full access to the morphing grid and his Zords and his weapons, I think this is a clear-cut case of just a major league ass whooping for the Shape. I think the Shape would put up a good fight, but I think at the end of the day, the Green Ranger wins in a landslide victory. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. And if you have any future suggestions for who would win, I'd love to hear about them, and I'd love to talk about them in a future episode. Moving on. Okay, so we're gonna do spooky news and horror. So it is the spooky season, which means AMC Fear Fest is in full effect right now. So this is one of my favorite times of the year. It's like if you go to AMC, if you have cable or if you have the streaming service AMC or their little platform or whatever they have now, they just play horror movies 24/7. It's great. They'll have a marathon of Freddy one day. They'll have a marathon of Jason another day, a marathon of Michael another day, Stephen King Day, and it's all throughout October. It's just great, and it's just a good time to just unwind, unplug your mind, and watch some good old-fashioned Halloween schlock. And I love it. I'm here for it. So, Slash-O-Maniacs, if you guys weren't aware that Fear Fest is going on right now, you're welcome. Go check it out. All right. Quentin Tarantino, famous movie director, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, just Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, just countless amazing films, recently made some headlines by dismissing Stephen King's It as a Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff. So on surface value, this kind of makes sense because Nightmare on Elm Street came out first theatrically. So on the surface, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense if you do just a little bit of digging and research. It took 4 years for Stephen King to actually write It, which means from idea to conception to actually being a novel and coming out in 1986. Stephen King came out with this around 81, 82. So Nightmare on Elm Street was theatrically released in 84. So how is Stephen King ripping off a movie that hasn't even been released yet for 2 years? Unless Stephen King had access to Wes Craven's own notebook that he was writing the ideas down for Nightmare on Elm Street. This is a big no-go. This is a bad look for Quentin Tarantino. This is a rare miss. I think he's wrong. They're similar. Freddy and Pennywise are similar. They both, live off people's fears. That's how they exist. That's how they thrive. But to say that Stephen King ripped off the idea from Wes Craven is not true. And it's a bad look. I think he needs to have a retraction or apologize. There needs to be something. Slash-O-Maniacs, what do you guys think about Quentin Tarantino saying that Pennywise the Clown was just a direct ripoff of Freddy Krueger? I think it's inaccurate at best and just a swing and a miss. So yeah, no go. But you know what? Both those characters, I'm glad, even if he did rip it off, which he didn't, I'm glad he did. Love Pennywise. Excuse me. Love Pennywise. Love Freddy Krueger. So many great memories from my childhood stem from being scared as hell from both of those characters. So if he did rip it off, mazel tov. He didn't, though. Let's go to our second. Second. It's a second clip, but it's a new it's a new segment. We're going to Slash Trax Fun and Games. So we just want to see some of the Slasher Maniacs out there having games and having fun with their friends. Let's go to that right now.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah.
Well, that didn't end as well as they had hoped for. I don't understand why the girl didn't get off her friend immediately. She just lays there and laughs. That would have made me more mad than the initial being toppled onto. That girl could seriously be hurt. Her head was against the wall and the weight was on her back. That's not good. That's funny, but that makes me nervous. It's like the older I get, the more I see stuff like that, I'm like, ooh, like maybe that's not as funny as I thought it thought it once was, you know, or thought it could have been like 10 years ago. Still, though, pretty crazy clip. What do you guys think about that? Would you play Ring Around the Rosie with that gal? I don't know. Let's get into Slash Trax Sports. All right. Legendary San Francisco Giants first baseman. He's retired now, obviously. Will Clark. This is kind of a fun fact. He homered in his first at-bat of single-A ball. He homered in his first at-bat of double-A ball. He homered in his first at-bat of triple-A ball. And he homered in his first at-bat of the major leagues. And not only did he homer in his first at-bat of the major leagues, he did it against Nolan Ryan, who is, you know, a lot of people say is maybe the greatest pitcher of all time. Definitely one of the greatest power pitchers of all time. Holds the all-time strikeout record, has 7 no-hitters, has the record for 1-hitters. He was untouchable when he was at his best, and his longevity was unmatched. But your first at bat in the big leagues is a homer off Nolan Ryan. That's incredible. And your first at bat in every level of the pros is a home run. Unbelievable. I did a little bit of research on Will Clark. I just wanted to kind of look at his stats and see how his career shaked out. And, excuse me, his last season was with the Cardinals in 2000, and he still was hitting 21 homers with 70 RBIs and batting over 300. Like, he didn't get worse. He just was good his entire career. He never had like a drop off. He was always super consistent. He didn't take PEDs or steroids, played great defense, was a good leader. Will Clark was the man. Slash-O-Maniacs, do you guys remember Will Clark at all? If you do, let me know some of your memories of him or comments down, comment down below. Let me know what you think about Will the Thrill. He had a sweet swing, very Ken Griffey Jr.-esque, just like right through the zone, just smooth as butter. Here's another sports story. It's kind of another fun fact. All right, Lee Smith was a feared closer in the big leagues, Slash-Keteers. If you watch baseball for, in the 80s, 90s, you probably know who he is. He would actually walk from the bullpen out to the mound. Most closers jog or run. He would like stroll like a horror movie character. He would just take his sweet time going to the mound. Now, Lee Smith stated his famous slow walk from the bullpen started because when he was playing with the Cubs, he had a lot of friends on the grounds crew at Wrigley Field. So he was a man of the people. I found out that they got time and a half if the game went past 4:30 p.m. So he took his sweet time getting to the mound. So that was Lee Smith's way of helping his friends out, hoping to get the game past 4:30 so his friends could start making overtime. Wrigley Field is and was known for having mostly day games or all day games. They never had lights at Wrigley Field until recently. So especially when Lee Smith was there. So if the game went past 4:30, his buddies are getting overtime, and Lee was doing them a big favor. So to have a big star like that do something for a normal person, I just really love everything about this story. That's great. Way to go, Lee Smith. Hero of the day. All right, it's time for Slash Trax Self-Defense. We've had previous Slash Trax Self-Defense clips just go viral, just people learning how to defend themselves, sending in comments about how it saved their lives. Let's go to another potential life-saving segment of Slash Trax Self-Defense.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I'm going to teach you how to protect yourself against being murdered.
If you're being attacked, you must consider any and all options to ensure your safety, even if it means being gross. You might try belching loudly in your assailant's face, or if you can, pass gas. The smell may drive him away. Try urinating on yourself, or if you can, try to excrete on yourself. Rub the excrement on your arms and face. If you're saying, That's too repulsive. You're right. Put your thumb into the eye. Pound his head into the pavement and kick him in the head. Drive your thumb into the tomato and rip out. Roll with him and pinch and shake as hard as you can. Watch carefully. One of the best techniques is biting as hard as you can on your boyfriend's lips or neck. Rip your fingernails across his face. For good measure, pound his head. Quit fighting and wait for your chance. Then bite off his penis. I know this is shocking, but if you want to survive, you'll consider this a serious defense technique. Even children need to learn how to defend themselves, and they can do it. You don't have to be 6 feet tall and weigh 200 pounds to be able to protect yourself. Don't think you can't. Know that you can.
All right, Slash Maniacs, self-defense. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta bite whatever you gotta bite. You gotta kick whatever you gotta kick. You gotta gouge their eyes out. You do whatever you have to do to get out of that situation, and then you run like hell. You gotta at least make it to Halloween so you can go trick-or-treating and get some treats. You can't die before Halloween. I mean, come on, let's get our priorities straight here. We gotta at least make it to Halloween. So you bite, you claw, you use your finger, you fish hook them. You do whatever you gotta do. Follow every line of instruction from that segment to the T, and you'll make it. All right, Slash Trax Wrestling. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's The Movie The Smashing Machine was recently released, and it's released to a career low box office opening of only $6 million over the weekend. So I've heard so many good things about this movie, and I've heard so many weird, bad things about this movie. I originally, when it first was, rumored that it was coming out, and they showed like photos from the set of him in makeup, a lot of people were making fun of his makeup. A lot of people were unsure of how the movie was going to perform. It looked like a weird kind of tone to the trailer, kind of muddled. And then all of a sudden, I started seeing how it was getting standing ovations at film festivals and how The Rock was an early favorite to win the Academy Award. So we go from low to very high to it opening, and it's just an absolute popcorn fart dud. Made no money, and now The Rock is basically saying that, like, I did this because I'm trying to level up as an actor, which I totally give him credit for. He actually deferred part of his salary to some of his co-stars to be in the movies, which I give him 100% credit for. That's amazing. I like that he's stretching. I like that he's trying to do different parts than just the action hero. But at the same time, it's like, the movie has to make some sort of money. And for it to lose that much money on opening weekend, it's like movies don't typically make more money the second week, unless it's like Jurassic Park or Independence Day or something like that. And blockbusters, are few and far between. So do I think the Smashing Machine is going to rally and all of a sudden make, its production budget back next week? No. That being said, I am pleased that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson chose a role where he was going to actually, slip into the shoes of a different character and be somebody else. And I like that he got good reviews for his role, and I like that he's stretching and trying something different. I think that's exactly what he needs. And I don't think that this film not performing as well at the box office is going to be as detrimental as a lot of people are saying, because I don't think he went into this movie thinking it was going to make a ton of money. So he got a lot of really positive reviews for his performance, and I think that's what he was looking for. I think if it performed well at the box office, that would have been the cherry on top. Slashketeers, are you guys going to see The Smashing Machine? Have you seen The Smashing Machine? Let me know what you guys think about that film in the comments down below. I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts, because I'm really interested in this. All right. The recent WWE Raw on Netflix numbers were released, and it's not good. It's an all-time low for its time on Netflix so far. 2.3 million global views across 7 days. So just to give you some perspective on views from the past, Hogan Andre at Saturday Night's Main Event had over 33 million viewers for something that was on TV one time only, because back in the 80s and 90s, if it was on wrestling-wise, there was no rerun. You had to watch it then. So that was one-shot deal, 33 million. Netflix was available, Netflix on Raw was available for 7 days of this time period globally, all over the place. Netflix is everywhere. And it only got 2.3 million views. This isn't good. I know WWE is making a ton of money from their live ticket sales for pay-per-views or premium live events or whatever the hell they call them now. I know they're making money from all these TV deals and Netflix deals and all, whatever, ESPN deals. If they continue to underperform and they continue to keep getting bad reviews, because they had WrestlePalooza on ESPN. It was like their first big event after signing with ESPN, and ESPN gave them a C grade. They didn't like the product that they got in bed with. So that's not a good sign. Usually ESPN, even if they didn't like it, you think they would still put it over because it's on their channel, but they sure as hell didn't. WWE is, owned by TKO, and TKO is trying to make as much money as possible from the WWE. They're squeezing it dry. They're putting out a really stale product. It's the Bloodline versus Cody versus whoever over and over and over again. It's the same match over and over and over again. Less wrestling, more talking. They're presenting it as like an actual real sport, which I think is a total misstep. I didn't watch pro wrestling because I wanted to see real sports. I watched pro wrestling because I liked the show of it. I liked the pomp and the circumstance. I liked all the extras, the bells and whistles of it. I didn't watch it because I wanted to actually see like real sports presentation. It was totally different. It was larger than life. Vince McMahon nailed it. And I believe that they're going the wrong direction. I mean, they have that show on Netflix where they're revealing what's behind the curtain, how the soup is made. Don't like that. The WWE Unreal or whatever the hell it's called. There's just so many missteps, and the product is not as good as it once was. And I feel like they're riding the high from a couple years ago, and eventually it's going to end. How it's going to end, I don't know. Are the Saudis just going to eventually buy the product and move it completely over there? I don't know. I don't watch the WWE very often, and when I do, it's only to report on it here on Trax News. I like the older stuff better. Slashamaniacs, what do you guys think about the current WWE product? I mean, what do you think about the Raw having record low views? It's not good. I know they're making money, and views don't matter as much, but it's like, are you going to get another contract if nobody actually watches it in the future? I mean, what are you getting paid based? What are they basing you getting this big payday on? I don't know. I'm confused. I don't get it. Just to have new content out to have it. I mean, if that's the case, just create your own crap. I don't get it for way less money. Let's end the show with a headline. Florida man falls asleep while robbing home. So Timothy Bentrager was found asleep on the homeowner's couch of the house he was robbing. She woke him up and asked why he was there. He apologized and then fled. He was later arrested walking down the road. So guy breaks into her house, falls asleep, takes a little nap. I wonder if he made any food in her fridge or anything, but he had to have been on something to fall asleep. There's no way. I mean, this is the most casual criminal of all time. Shows up, robs the house, gets all of his stuff, puts it on the coffee table there. He's ready to leave and puts the TV on, sees something interesting. Probably not WWE. Takes a little nap and wakes up, and the homeowner catches him. I can't believe the homeowner had enough guts to like wake this random guy up. I would be scared. I think I would call the cops immediately, or at least grab a gun or a weapon and be like, hey, don't move. You're staying right here till the cops come. Lot of guts from this gal to just wake this intruder up. Criminals are getting lazy. It's like, not only are actual workers being lazy on the job, criminals, bad guys are now lazy on the job. Slashketeers, what do you guys think about this guy falling asleep while robbing this lady's house? What does that conversation look like when you're arrested with the cops? What are they saying? They're probably just giving you shit the whole time. It's just unbelievable. That's the end. We've reached the end of Trax News. Hope you guys had a good time. I hope you guys had some fun. Let me know what you think about all these stories in the comments below. You can write me at slashtrax2020@gmail.com with any stories you want me to talk about in the future. Any who would win. Would you rather? Do you have any advice you need? Would you like to write in and ask me some advice? Ask Slashy, Dear Slashy, whatever you want to do. Love to talk with you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Mahalo dogs. I'm out.